Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you heard of the highbrow drivel?
No, but it sounds smarty pants to me.
Highbrow drivel delivers hilarious takes from serious experts. Every week, comedian Anthony Janot introduces one of his comedian friends to an academic, scientist, politician, or expert of some kind.
Oh yeah? And what do they do?
Over the course of roughly an hour, the group will offer thought-provoking topics, expert guests, and hilarious commentation.
Well, that sounds awesome.
Host Anthony Janot is critically acclaimed stand-up comedian who has sold out shows in Australia, England, Scotland, Sweden, and more. But we're talking specifically about his podcast now called The Highbrow Drivel. Topics range from ethics and artificial intelligence to astronomy and dinosaurs.
Really? Oh, I love dinosaurs. Do they talk about owls?
Every week, it's a new comedian, a new expert, but the same highbrow drivel. Highbrow Drivel is available on all major podcast players and at www.highbrowdrivel.com. Again, that's www.highbrowdrivel.com.
Yeah, that sounds like smart nonsense. Can't wait to listen.
Hey, Mike, as a business owner, why do we form an LLC or a corporation?
Well, that's pretty simple. We want to protect ourselves personally from the liability of the company.
That's right, Mike. The very next thing we should be doing as business owners is protecting ourselves personally from the finances of the company.
Right. Yeah, that's why you want to get help, and you can get help from The Business Doctor, which was founded by Dr. Glenn Smith, PhD in business management, accounting, and finance. Schedule your free business evaluation and consultation at thebusinessdoctor.us.
Enroll in the Rapid Business Credit Builder program and get up to 100K business credit under the company's EIN and the DUNS number in less than 6 months. The DUNS number is really important for your rating on when you purchase other items from other businesses, never having to use personal credit ever again. That's thebusinessdoctor.us or call 866-383-1030. Again, that's 866-383-1030 or thebusinessdoctor.us.
Visit The Business Doctor today. Hey, Nathan.
What's up, Mike?
You're a big energy drink guy, right?
Yeah, I only have one, if not two energy drinks a day.
You know that stuff is overloaded with sugar and ingredients you don't even know how to pronounce.
Yeah, I do.
Have you ever thought of having something that's a little bit more healthy?
Well, you know what? I need something with a little bit of caffeine kick because that's why I use the energy drinks.
Well, you might want to try something else. Try Focus. It's a sparkling water with a spark. Focus is a delicious, health-conscious, thoughtfully caffeinated sparkling water. It's infused with a boost of natural tea caffeine and the balance of L-theanine. You get the clean energy you want without the sugar, calories, or crash.
Wow, that sounds really interesting.
And they have a wide range of flavors, including blood orange, mixed berry, cherry cola.
Cherry cola?
Yeah, crisp apple, root beer, grapefruit.
I like root beer.
Yuzu and lime, cucumber and peach.
Ooh, where can I get some, Mike?
Go to www.drinkfocus.com. That's www.drinkfocus.com. And if you use our code TechTime at checkout, you will get 20% off.
20% off? Wow.
Yeah, can't wait, can you?
I'm going to go buy one of these today.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go,
Yeah,
technology
like,
news of the week. What's that?
More like, ugh.
I was listening to you guys last week on the show. I thought you and Glenn did a great job.
Yeah, except for the nasty whiskey you provided.
The nasty.
And then,
what's that? Well, this is new whiskey that we have for this
week. It's in a plastic bottle, too.
Oh, well, okay,
I'm really leery about this.
So I went to Wines and More shop, right? And so I went in there and I bought 16 bottles of whiskey for under $100.
So you're just buying bad whiskey?
Well, I'm buying different whiskey that we haven't had on the show.
You just really got uptight about that whole pre-tasting thing. I dogged you out.
That's
on,
right.
Huh?
So you know what? So we got some new whiskey. I hope today's whiskey is better than last week because boy, you guys gave me a run through on the radio show for that.
Did you taste
and
it?
then some after that.
That's right, David.
Yeah.
What's that?
Did you taste it?
I did not taste it. No.
You need to taste it.
Well,
because it's nasty.
Oh, I did taste it afterwards of the show. I didn't think it was that bad. You do a little bit mixer.
Oh, well.
Rich and whatever it is. Rich and royal.
and grossness.
Rich and royal. All right. Well, welcome to TechTime Radio, the show that makes you go, The show for the everyday common person where we talk technology for the next 2 hours. Here, live show. We got a great guest today. Was featured on Shark Tank, so we have him on the second hour.
He's on the second hour.
Yep, he's going to be on the second hour. In the first hour, though, we got tons of information that we're going to go through, but our show does air live on Saturdays, 4 to 6 p.m.
Here we go.
Which means on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not 4 to 6 p.m., and Sunday, if you're listening to our show, you're listening to a rebroadcast. So visit us on techtimeradio.com. Again, that's techtimeradio.com to get all of the up-to-date information and stay connected.
Brought to you by Captain Obvious.
All right, there we go. So we're a 2-hour show. Now, on today's show, the first hour, we're going to be talking about Pegasus Spyware. It's being used to target phones and track people. So we're going to be talking about that. That's a very uplifting story. We got
I love those stories.
The United Arab Emirates. We're going to be talking about how they create their own rain.
This is some crazy stuff.
That is. So we're going to be talking about that. We have the NASA spacecraft maps. They have actually mapped the foundation of Mars through sonar in different areas. We're going to be talking about that.
Seismographic
deals. We have our technology insider report on technology used at the Olympics. We're going to be talking about as the Olympics are on NBC.
Yay.
Yeah, you can't. Nothing better than watching a 18-hour delayed broadcast of what already happened. But if you do watch the NBC feeds, you can watch the delayed items, or you can watch the Canadian feeds for the Olympics, which are real time. And then we have...
Are they going to be drinking Canadian mist whiskey?
Well, they may be having some Canadian mist whiskey. That's correct. We're going to be talking about the crypto bubble and the big crash that has happened. So there is a big
Another
crash.
one.
It's a big crash, and we're going to be talking about it, and is now the time to maybe get into cryptocurrency. I am going to give you some answers on that to see if you want to dive into the cryptocurrency world. And, of course, we got Mike's mesmerizing moment brought to you by StoriCoffee, the best coffee in the world. Right? We have... an interesting second segment where we're going to be tasting the Focus. Have you heard the commercial for Focus?
Yes, we did the commercial for Focus.
Yep, so we're going to be talking about the Focus energy drink. Me and you are going to have some of that to taste.
Sparkling water with a spark.
That's right, sparkling water with, we said that. It was two S's.
That was in the...
All right, the second hour we have letters, of course, back. We got some funny letters. And then we have on the Ask the Expert feature with two technology leaders from the ABC TV show Shark Tank. We have the deal maker, Robbie Cabral, and the inventor of Hampton Products, Kim Kelly. So Kim Kelly and Robbie essentially are working together on their Benji lock. So we have the Benji lock here to take a look at. It's a fingerprint lock. Great type of deal. We're going to be talking about
padlock.
It's a padlock that you open with your finger. And there comes with a key also, so you can still use the traditional key to undo it. And we're going to talk about how he invented this, when he created it, what he did, and we're going to talk about some of the electronics and technology inside the lock itself to find out how it actually works.
We're going to do a Master Lock commercial where they shoot it with a gun and then still lock.
I don't think this Benji
remember
lock.
that? Yeah, do you remember that?
You should ask him. You know what? On the second hour, you should ask him.
Maybe I will.
You say,
do you remember that commercial?
I do remember that. Where
was
they
like
boom, and it was still hanging there.
Yeah, that was like what?
That's an '80s commercial.
The '80s commercial.
Yeah, that was. It was on during A-Team.
That's right.
And remember that? I do remember that. That's right. All right. The only show in the world where you shot everybody and no one died.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So we're going to be talking about that. I'm your host for the next 2 hours, Nathan Mumm. We got Mike sitting back in the co-host seat. He did a great job last week in my seat. And we have David Brown, of course, behind the board. And as we start out each of our episodes,
up that salute.
That's right. We need to start out with our loaded question of the day. And our loaded question to you, Mike, is what is the next job that will be lost due to computers?
You know, that's funny that you asked that question today, because I was driving around on the interstate and was thinking about that, because they are trying to do semi-trucks that are driverless.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And I was considering what that would look like in actuality once it hits the ground running. So I'm going to just go with semi-trucks.
Semi-trucks. So you think they're going to remove the semi-trucks, and so then what happens is you're a kid.
Driverless semi-trucks, and they're going to put a lot of truckers out of business.
Okay. So what happens when you're the kid in the window and do you ever remember doing this?
Do they still do that?
I don't know if they do that anymore. I remember as a young kid growing up,
yeah,
if you ever passed a semi, you'd do this, and then all of a sudden he'd go on his horn and he'd hear, and be like, woohoo. All right. Okay. Well, we need to make sure to tell how everybody can get engaged with us. If you go to twitch.tv, you can type in the chat there. We'll respond to you during the show. You can also call us at 425-373-5527 or 1-888-298-KKNW, which is 1-888-298-5569 to be a part of the show. If you have a technology question, make sure you get it in the first hour because the second hour is booked.
That's right, but you can only do it between 4 and 6 on Saturday.
That's right. And if you're trying to get a hold of us on Sunday, then you're listening to a rebroadcast.
Thank you, Captain.
All right. Now let's get our episode started with our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
In a historic first, NASA spacecrafts map what lurks below the surface of Mars. Did you read this article? This was actually really cool.
Yep.
So NASA InSight mission has allowed scientists to map the interior of another planet for the first time. In a series of 3 studies published in the Journals of Science on Thursday of this week, a global team of researchers described the interior of Mars using data obtained in InSight's seismometer. There you go. Seismometer, an instrument that responds to the vibration and noise under Mars' surface. Analyzing a series of Mars quakes felt since 2019, researchers have been able to come up with the inner workings of the planet. There's an upper layer, or the crust, which is composed of rock and ancient lava that seems to be at most 10 kilometers thick. So as you go down, the very crust is this lava rock, 10 kilometers down. Now all of a sudden they have another layer that's approximately double the size that lies beneath it, and it is considered a mantle-type light crust that is surprisingly thin.
Right.
So equivalent to that would be kind of like when I was doing this, kind of like a sandy type of surface. So as you're coming through that hard lava rock and you get down to the second layer, there's still sediment there, but it's a very sandy type of item. And then the team moves to the third layer, which is beneath what they call an onion-type squishiness. So if you ever had a rotten onion,
That's how they describe that too.
So
onion type squishy.
Yeah.
Mars is an onion squishy onion.
So if you go all the way into the very center of it, you got this onion squishy part, right?
Yeah.
So you got this, and then you have this layer of sand.
What's at the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop?
That's the center of Mars.
The center of
you got
Mars is a squishy onion.
The squishy onion, and then all of a sudden you have up to the very top layer your hard crust type of deal. So that's a very interesting. Just think, if you decide to dig yourself a well on Mars, like you would do here in America, you get down to water, you're going to get down to some mucus, like a rotten
I'm not sure that
onion.
I'm not sure how that's
You start coming up,
out.
you can have some nasty onion.
I'm pretty sure
juice.
that you're never going to get past the initial
crust. They say that's the case.
Unless you're really, really interested in digging that deep.
Yeah, that'd be weird. All of a sudden, we're gonna like this sour onion type mucus that comes out of it. So we're like, oh, we'll be drinking some of that.
You've been thinking about.
I did. I do a lot of research on these. I like to jump around. All right,
it's not about the research. This is about the stuff you come up with
after I think of it.
them.
That's it. All right. Story number 2: United Arab Emirates tackles hot water by creating its own rain with drones. We have James from the World News Report on this, so we have some audio.
James Kaufman, World News Report. Dubai is making its own rain to beat the 120-degree heat wave. Officials in Dubai are using drones to artificially increase rainfall as the city grapples with oppressive heat. The rain-making technology known as cloud seeding was put into use as summer temperatures have surged. The technology works by having drones, again, shoot electrical charges into the clouds. Rainmaking has become common in all dry countries such as United Arab Emirates.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's really cool, right?
So this is different, yeah, because it used to be that you'd have to load up these rockets on the side wings of planes, and you would have the plane drive up to the cloud area, and you'd not drive, fly.
They drive up to the cloud.
Fly. You got me on the semis.
Yep.
So you're going to fly up to the clouds, and they would shoot into the cloud areas all these electrodes that would then energize, and then all of a sudden they'd have rain come down. And it was only about 30% to 40% effective, right?
Yeah,
So-
they did this on Quantum Leap. Remember that episode?
Yeah, they did. So this has been around for a long time, but now they've replaced the whole idea of having airplanes shoot it up. They put them in drones. The drones fly into the clouds themselves, release electrical charges, and they're at a 95% success rate of creating rain.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So they can now, specifically in Dubai, have the ability to have it rain when they want and when they don't want.
Here's a cool science fiction movie coming
that?
up. They create the rain and then they can't stop it.
Oh, there you go. And then it's going to be some type of acid that comes on down to the people.
Oh, there you go with the
All right.
rotten onion stuff.
That's right. It's going to be like this acid rain, and we didn't know it. And then, Marvel will send somebody up and save it. So the Spider-Man will swing it. I've been out for a week, so my science fiction is going crazy today.
You're just packing all kinds of cool stuff on there, aren't you?
There you go.
Squishy onions and...
All right, story number 3, Pegasus Spyware used to target phones of journalists and activists. An investigation finds phones where a list of thousands of numbers, thanks, David, are sweeping by 17 media outlets that found that the NSO's group, Pegasus Software, was used to hack and attempt 37 specific smartphones belonging to human rights activists and journalists. So, the company NSO Group Technology is an Israeli technology firm whose spyware is called Pegasus, enables the remote surveillance of smartphones.
Well, who's using the spyware?
Well, what happened is this technology is available from this Israeli company. Somebody else got access to it.
That's right. Who got access
they
to
say
it?
they don't know yet. So the Washington Post reported that the phones were leaked. A list of numbers were discovered by Paris journalism nonprofit group called Hidden Stories. So it was found in Paris, a human rights group that works for Amnesty International, according to the Post. The numbers on the list were singled out for possible surveillance by countries who are clients of the NSO. The report states which markets its spyware or government or track potential criminals. So, clients of this software.
Potential criminals.
Yes. So, clients of this software from an Israeli company decided to use that software instead of probably monitoring their own employees' phones, but actually installed it and used it on other people to track what was going on.
Well, how did they get it on there? So
they probably old-fashioned way. They probably had somebody like swipe a phone and then load it on the device itself, so the person didn't know it was there, and then bingo, they had it taken care of.
So we're talking about some
James Bond
stuff. This guy infiltrates the Amnesty International, and
he gets some phones. He gets some phones, and he kind of swipes them a little bit, loads some software up, and boom! Now you can pay attention to what they're talking about, what they're doing,
hanging out in a bar and doing it on his phone.
Well, no, because James Bond's really cool. So he's at the bar sipping his martini, right, or whiskey. He's sipping dry,
shaken, not stirred.
That's right, martini, and somebody else's his henchman is loading the software. Or that's Mission Impossible.
Which James Bond movies are you watching?
I'm thinking of the Tom Cruise Mission Impossibles now. Okay. All right, never mind. All right, so
you can't get your facts straight.
Well, no, I got my facts straight. I just can't get my movies straight right now.
Dude,
I'm just all over the movies.
You got all kinds of stuff going on.
Okay, well, see, I'm just really excited to be here.
I bet.
So the Pegasus Spyware has been accused of larger surveillance before. Between July and August of 2020 and in 2009, WhatsApp sued the company, claiming Pegasus was used to hack users in its WhatsApp encrypted chat service.
Yes.
So they've been sued a couple times before for their software. It must work. I have not used it. Must work really well because companies are using it to illegally track people. So always be careful if you have a company phone to make sure you know that it's a company phone. That's right. Okay, well, we're going to head to
my company phone at home.
That's a smart thing to do. All right, well, we're going to take a commercial break. Mike, when we come on back, though, we are going to be talking about our Technology Insider segment on the computer chip shortage that is happening and the Olympics, which have started. We're going to be talking about new technology. The Olympics always is breaking technology barriers with new technology they use, both for the events themselves and for the athletes. But we are going to sip our whiskey that we have here, and we'll see you after the break.
I can't wait.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Guess what? Our favorite sponsor's back.
Oh, it's the puzzle dude from Unidragon.
That's right, Unidragon. Yep, unidragon.com. They have a brand new item. It's called the Playful Parrots. It's a 5-in-1 puzzle that comes on out that actually comes all the way up to the brand new size, which is the royal size. Now they're small, medium, king size, and royal size. So you can get 7 times bigger than the standard puzzle. What do you think about the Playful Parrots? Being a pirate adventurer that you are, Mike, what say you?
Oh, the owl's jealous.
The owl's jealous? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What's the owl saying about the parrots?
Oh, there's 5 of them and 1 of him.
That's right. That's what happens. You know what? When you're the original, sometimes you get replaced and upgraded. So if you want to get upgraded in your puzzles, now's the time to go to unidragon.com. Again, that's unidragon.com. Don't be fooled by other imitation puzzle makers. Only get your true puzzle from unidragon.com. They're the best, and they're the world's leader in wooden puzzles. Tech Time listeners, use promo code DRAGONTECH. Again, that's DRAGONTECH for a 10% discount code. Discount expires on August 1st, 2021. They're no longer 3 sizes, Mike. Guess how many there are now?
They're 4 sizes.
That's right. They're 4 sizes. Make sure to visit techtimeradio.com/sponsors and click on the Order Now button to go directly to Unidragon. Our number 1 sponsor says thank you, and the owl is jealous.
Oh my God. Where did you find this stuff?
And the party continues.
All right, welcome back to Tech Time Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm.
This is nasty.
You were giving me a hard time last week.
Yeah.
Okay,
so this is actually Nathan's. This is nasty stuff.
So this is the $13.99.
No, I get to read this.
Okay, you can read this. It's 80 proof, and it's Canadian mist.
Yes.
Now we pulled up some reviews on it, and so I printed some on out. Do you want to start reading this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's a good review right here.
$13.99 for a 1.7 liter. So I mean that's like a huge deal. This is like whiskey at its cheapest.
Something that's sickly medicinal and caramel heavy, followed by watery butterscotch, waxy candy corn, and artificial sweetener run rampant. An astringent, cleaner-like, overripe citrus mixes with root beer taffy in the background, and a turpentine underpinning holds everything up. Oh my gosh!
So it's a little bit of an overripe, cleaner-like
I
taste.
I could barely get past the smell. It smells rancid. In
kinda
fact, one of these says it's rancid.
Yeah, so it reminds me of kind of that dirty mechanical cleaning fluid that you'd use on tools in a shop or something like that.
Do you go around sipping shop turpentine? This is gross.
No, this is Canadian Mist. Let me just tell you, at the company that I bought it, so I'm going through at Wines & More, and I'm checking out at this one. And the poor lady that's there says, "Are you sure you want to buy this, sir?" I'm like, "Oh, no, I need to buy that." She says, "Not even the bums that come into our store buy this." And I said, "What do you mean?" This is like, "No, you can't buy this at all." So you know what? Be careful what you wish for. You said you wanted to have a taste off.
Well, we definitely don't need to have a worst off now because this is definitely the winner.
This is a Canadian Mist.
I want Kentucky's best right now.
This
is horrid.
So we got to go through all of this. That is our punishment.
Getting
through the show.
That's what we get.
All right. Well, welcome back. So I'm glad that you guys had some okay whiskey last week now, because now you have
No.
Mist.
This doesn't take anything away from last week's. This is just gross.
Okay.
This is just worse.
This is not.
Last week was still nasty, but this one certainly takes the cake. Or in this case, the waxy butterscotch.
Well, now that we got the drinks out of the way, we have our Technology Insider ready to start our next segment.
Welcome to Technology Insider. We get the information directly from the source.
Welcome to Technology Insider, where you get the information in the field of technology with an inside look from our experts. In today's segment, we're going to be talking here with our Nathan Mumm.
Oh, I'm the expert today.
You're going to be the expert today.
Okay, I'm excited to be the expert.
All right, so we're going to talk about the chip shortage that's going on.
Okay.
I got a little email today or yesterday, the day before yesterday, that any computers that were ordered were going to be delayed by a few months, and this was the first time I've heard about it.
Okay.
I haven't heard about this, and this affects a lot of things, so we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about some of the stuff that's happening out at the Olympics in
that's exciting.
It's in Tokyo this week or this year. Right?
So I have been to the Olympics. I was a part of a technology group for the Beijing Olympics and the London Olympics.
Yes, I know.
So that'll be exciting. Okay.
All right. So, Nathan,
Yeah.
what's up with the computer chip shortage?
Okay, so let's talk about this because you know what? Intel CEO says chip shortage could stretch till 2023. Others say 12 months, and the optimistic trend says that it'll probably be at least a minimum of 6 months to improve the delay
Is this
cycle.
because of the pandemic?
Oh, it is not. Absolutely has zero to do with COVID-19 at all.
Really?
It does. So let's talk about this because our computer manufacturers are producing the same amount of computers that they have this year than they have the last 5 years. So computer manufacturing, cell phone manufacturing have not increased. They have stayed the same. But what happens is these semiconductor companies that are out there that actually produce, so it's very expensive to be a semiconductor company to produce these chips. What is killing the market in today's world, and it will continue to have delays indefinitely, are companies like cars. So a car used to have anywhere between 3 to 4 computers as a part of the car itself.
Yeah.
You get a brand new Tesla X, you got a total of 40 onboard computers that are running with a total of 145 microchips. Before, you used to have a car of 4 or 5 microchips that would take care of an engine report.
So this is really just...
It's consumer product that is killing us. You got a Roomba. Let's say you have a vacuuming system. Before, it'd have 3 or 4 chips in it that would say, hey, you know what? You're going to vacuum. You're going to do this. You're going to...
This stuff is making my nose water, man.
the
gross.
alcohol.
Yeah.
So essentially, the manufacturing plants that are out there cannot keep up with the demand for low-cost microprocessors, low-cost circuits to be produced. So these are now coming on in companies that didn't ever want microprocessors before, computers before, or chips to be made before, now are coming on in and saying, I need 1 sensor, I need 2 sensors, I need 3 sensors. The current Roomba device that you can get, the newest model, now has a total of 14 sensors. I have an older one that has probably 3 or 4.
This is more of a product of demand than
Correct.
anything else.
Correct. So the whole computer, and it's not going to change, though. This is the problem. It's whoever's paying the most for these chips that are moving up on the priority line. So if I am X company, and let's say I'm Tesla, let's say I'm Ford, and I want to be the car manufacturer and get more cars out there, because right now there's a shortage in cars specifically related to chip manufacturers not being produced quick enough in the environment. If I'm those companies and I decide to go to the chip manufacturer and say, hey, I'll pay you X amount over Dell, or I'll pay you X amount over Intel, or I'll pay you X amount over Apple to get our chips ahead of the line. It's a supply and demand, and they can only produce so much. So consumer
Supply and demand and bribery.
and bribery and large company purchasing, which is actually causing the microchip processes. Now, there are some delays probably with COVID on some shipping items and some other items, but the shortage that we have now, the reason they're not thinking that it's going to go away, like Intel doesn't think it's going to go away for another 2+ years, is they actually have to physically build more factories to take care of this. There's no way else to do it. You have to build a new factory, more factories to actually do the outlay of what people need for chips nowadays.
So you would have thought that the infrastructure would have been pre-thought at some point where they're going to go, well, we're going to need more factories to produce this stuff.
You think that, but actually it's a lot because people are lazy.
Well,
so instead of having 4 or 5 chips,
in fact, I can talk about that because I'm doing a devil's advocate thing.
Yep.
Because human behavior, as much as we think we're all that awesome, we do everything by trial and error.
And so what's happened here is instead of now having code for 5 or 6 processors that run different items, people are saying, I'm going to have a whole code and infrastructure just for wipers. I'll have one for a car manufacturing just for sensors. I'll have one now just for this because the chips themselves are inexpensive to build, and then they can have different departments working on software instead of building it all into one chip. Now they're putting it across the platform.
Maybe we should take mechanics out of that, thing.
What's that?
The earlier question about what computers are going to replace.
What computers are going to replace?
Yeah, auto mechanics.
Auto mechanics.
Because everything is becoming all computer driven. Auto mechanics don't have to do a whole lot.
You get an OSD reading, right?
And so I'm speaking out of the side of my face right now, but
I get you. All right.
So okay. Well, that's That's too bad.
So that's what's going on. So there's not going to be a resolve to any of the computer microprocessing chip shortages for quite a long time.
Okay. Well,
which means price will go up.
Everything's going to go up, and you're not going to get your Amazon Prime next day delivery on some devices.
Correct, especially if they have chips.
Okay, well, that's cool. Also, why don't we talk about the Olympics? So
okay.
I read a nice article about all the new technology that's coming out for the Summer Games, and we're going to start off with fashion.
Okay, start out with fashion. I guess you should probably start out with that since you're the fashion.
You're
the fashion guy.
Fashion guy.
Well, you give me a hard time for what I'm wearing all the time.
I think. Well, I don't consider myself a fashionista, but you were definitely not.
Okay, so all right, you can start with the fashion.
Today is.
It matches. I asked my wife.
It matches something.
I asked my wife.
Neutral.
That's right. I asked my wife if it looked okay, and she said it looked great, honey.
Okay. Yeah, that's what wives are supposed to.
That's right. Okay. All right.
But guess who's outfitting the USA team with their formal looks in 2008?
Probably Ralph Lauren, since they've done it for gazillions of years.
Yeah, so it's Ralph Lauren, if you didn't know that.
Okay.
The approach is pretty much always red, white, and blue, preppy classism.
Yep.
This year's outfits don't look much different. You can check it out. They have their little striped belts and ascots. But there's actually some secret sauce.
Okay, what's the secret sauce?
It's a lot cooler.
How's it cooler?
And not in the cooler as in cool.
Not like cool, but like cooler as in like temperature?
Yeah, the Navy jackets, the flag bearers, Sue Bird and Eddie Alvarez incorporate what the brand has dubbed RL Coolant technology.
RL Coolant,
which disperses heat from the wearer's skin through a sophisticated device that monitors and optimizes temperature, according to a company announcement. So we got basically Dune skiing suits.
Yes.
Coming into the market on the Olympic team.
Just wait, because a little bit later in here we're going to be talking about Star Trek technology that's not available too.
Yes. So how exactly that happens is unclear because it's a protected secret, but they said it's the same technology used to cool super advanced computers. And whether or not you agree, athletes are now the physical equivalent of supercomputers.
Correct.
It's probably good news for them given the heat in Tokyo this year.
It is said to be very warm there.
Maybe they need to talk to Dubai and get some of those
rain cloud. Well, they were actually
rain-making drones
for the Olympics. They were actually testing having debris come in from the atmosphere, shooting up stuff and creating meteors.
We talked about the meteor shower. They're gonna dump artificial meteors from satellites.
Correct. Yeah, we talked about
all the things that we can do with technology, and we're gonna make a big light show out of it.
That's right, because that looks the coolest, right?
All right. So also of interest when it comes to these outfits, they are all made here in the States.
Okay.
It's important after Ralph Lauren got in trouble when it was revealed that their 2012 Olympic looks were made in
France.
China.
Or were they in China? That's right. I remember that.
The belts were made from recycled polyester derived from plastic water bottles. And, of course, they have jeans. These jeans are made from special new material the brand says is free from synthetic processes.
Oh, okay.
All right. So that's.
I guess if you're Olympic, you don't want that synthetic plastic on you when you're walking down the opening ceremonies.
I don't know. I don't really understand why we have to make a red carpet event out of everything that we do, but hey, we Ralph Lauren, go for it.
Yeah, we just seem to love that.
Yeah. So here's some other stuff that we're going to talk about. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Self-driving vehicles, Star Trek Universal Translators.
Yep.
What's all this about?
So let's
talk about the self-driving vehicles.
So this is awesome, right? So I was at the Beijing Olympics. Let me just tell you, technology-wise, at the Olympic, you have every sponsor that wants to be a part, and they want to do their newest released items. So they all bring, it's way better than the Consumer Electronics Show. If you want new technology, if you go to an Olympic event, they always have. If you remember back in the 80s where they had the camera that ran down the track and field and they would take a look when people were doing it. So when you're running a 40-meter dash.
The rabbit track.
Yeah, so they had it, and you could see now, like, it wasn't HD at the time, but whatever it was, you could see the guys running and zooming in. So right now, they have over 100 self-driving vehicles in Tokyo that are essentially picking up people from the airport that have no drivers, and they are taking them and transporting the athletes and other people that are coming in with them.
Yeah, so we've talked about this in the past, and this is
it. This is happening right now.
So
if I'm
Wasn't
coming
in Vegas that they were doing this?
Yes, and in Arizona too.
Well,
So
I know
Arizona.
they've been doing a lot of testing in Arizona because of
But
the
Vegas
weather,
was another place that has
Vegas
it taking.
they have them doing it.
And they're having it in California, but we talked about that as you don't get a whole lot of advantage when you're only going 5 miles an hour.
That's right.
This is essentially 100 self-driving vehicles. You come on into Japan's airport. And you're a part of the Olympic hosts.
Mm-hmm.
You will jump into a vehicle. You will travel to transportation that will minimize road fatalities, traffic congestions, and essentially drive you immediately to your Olympic Village and other Olympic venues across Tokyo. So it'll drop us off at the SAMUS, right? So it'll drop me off. I tell it, take me to the U.S. Village. It'll drop me off at the U.S. Village. And then at the U.S. Village, they'll have 6 or 7 of these areas, these vehicles there, and they'll take me to other areas during the Olympics to go to the events themselves.
Right. So this is kind of cool because this is the advantage of this type of technology. Did you know that they study ants?
I did not.
Yeah, so they study ants. Part of this technology
For the autonomous driving process?
Yeah, part of this idea is that they study ants and how they move, because ants will move in a way where they don't block each other and get in each other's way. So they're studying ants in order to program these vehicles to do the same. So if we have everybody that has this technology, essentially we wouldn't have what we have out here on I-5.
So it's a big test space, right? So if we get all of these 100 vehicles and they all get to people on time,
Mm-hmm.
and they all get to the venues back and forth with no issues, this is going to be a huge success. And just wait. The next Olympics, you're going to have it almost all autonomous with people just jumping in and jumping out.
I'm still not going to get into a car that doesn't have a driver.
You're not?
No.
Especially not in the snow, right? Or
Especially not in the snow.
Phil will tell you
Phil
because
will tell you, that's right.
That's not going to work. All right. So let's talk about the second thing here that you talked about, instant language translators. Now, this is something that you have on phones currently right now, right? So if I want to do Google Translate, I can say, hey, how are you doing? And it'll translate it into French. It'll translate it into a different language. But it doesn't do it real time.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially with the Olympics, they have now a real-time translation system that can be installed on the smartphones and compatible devices. They have other devices there at the Olympics that you can actually just grab that will allow you to speak in English, and it will translate it real time to somebody listening to it in any of 15 other languages.
See, here's another one that goes back to the question that you asked at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
This might put translators out of business.
It probably does. I mean, if you think about it, I don't need to have a translator. If I can just go up to you and you speak Japanese and I speak English and I want to talk to you, and you have one of these apps or on the phone, or you got one of these devices and say, hey, Mike, how you doing? And you can hear me real time of where I need to go and what I need to do. This is revolutionary in the process of not having it delayed, but having it essentially real time.
Real time, yeah.
To take
because
care of it.
even with the translator, you have to talk, and the translator has to translate after they talk.
Correct.
Or while they're after some pause. So
this is, you ever see The Last Starfighter when they go up there and Rogan can't hear anybody and he has to put on the deal, and then all of a sudden they speak English? This is it right here.
This is it.
All right. So do you want to talk about
Is that all you got for that?
Yeah, that's all.
I know
we got a couple more things. You want a couple other things you want to talk about?
Well, I know we have our favorite topic, the facial recognition systems.
So let's talk about that.
All right, so the facial recognition technology used at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021 venues for security screening related tasks of athletes, staff members, and other individuals not only speed up the entire process, but will... Excuse me.
That's right. Is that the alcohol?
I'm guessing because my nose itches.
Your nose is itching.
Yeah. This will give better security results by restricting unauthorized access and prevent spoofing at the venues. Though originally planned for security purposes after the worldwide COVID-19 outbreaks, this touchless security screening process by facial recognition would be really helpful and worthwhile in preventing the spread of the coronavirus.
Correct.
So the facial recognition cameras would allow the security personnel or other personnel or other officials to record allowed spectators and athletes' faces and movements at games venues that will further help them to pinpoint possible COVID-19 carriers and take action accordingly. For example, if someone at the venue was found infected, Officials can conveniently trace his or her route and thus find those who are in close proximity to that person.
So this is human tracking with cameras.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Because essentially,
this is exactly what it is. This is Big Brother.
Yep. I come into the venue, and then all of a sudden I'm walking through a camera recognition. I go in to sit down. I participate and have a great time.
The camera is taking pictures of you and whoever's around you.
Correct.
And then if you're a vector for this disease,
thermal cameras that are taking a look at my temperature from afar, probably.
Maybe. I mean, we had that one here.
Device in here. So I would totally think that would be the case too.
Yeah. So here we got all this technology, but what's the problem? What do we always talk about?
What's that? The human error?
The false positive.
Yeah, so you're probably going to... So if I'm next to you and I'm really excited and I'm standing up and my temperature rises really quickly because I'm mad at some call or something like that, I may get tagged as COVID person when I'm just mad at the call that was made.
Or either you're an athlete or official that triggers a wonk response where they don't let you in, or you're somebody who resembles one of these people and the computer can't tell the difference.
And hopefully they got it figured out for the Olympics.
Well,
they have better than that freeway.
This is where it always comes back to the problem is that the technology can only be as good as the people who program it, and the people who program it do not have all the information. They can't program all the information.
That's true. But this
happens all the time.
But let's talk about robots. Okay?
All right, let's talk about robots.
So we got robots there too. Essentially, they're not only there for guidance and...
Do they look like Twiki?
No.
From Buck Rogers?
Well, I don't know what they look like because I haven't seen it. But I was trying to find pictures of it. But essentially, they're being used to carry luggage, provide information, so I'm sure like a moving kiosk, right? So you probably have something coming on in a moving kiosk. And they're designed in a way where they can actually carry javelin, discus, different sporting equipment from one place to another. So it's like think of it as a big truck.
They're like big Roombas.
Yeah, so they have a big space of area. I want to move a bunch of weights to one place to another. I got my robot on here. It's got a nice smiley face, and it's transporting him back and forth. But they say that you're going to be able to see these if visitors were allowed to go to the venues, which is very limited. You'll see these all over the place, and that they will be symbolized for Tokyo's logo.
It's going to be the Honda robot, right?
It'll be. I think it'd be something like that. I have not seen a picture yet, but I'm sure that they're trying to automate a lot of these processes. And they, did you see the opening ceremonies? They had these drones, thousands of drones that went on up, and they made a world that was rotating across in space with all this technology. So it's amazing what technology has available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, but we're going to have to finish our segment here because we still got Crypto Carnage. We got Mike's mesmerizing moment. So what do you think about the Olympics? Are you excited about it?
I haven't watched the Olympics for many years now. Okay. I just don't have the time and all the the controversies that have come out and all the stuff.
They have skateboarding in this year. Brand new deal.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I know they put bowling in it at some point.
Softball is back. Thank you very much.
Softball's back too. That's
fast pitch or slow pitch?
Fast pitch.
But that's going to be interesting. The men's dream
team. When they
team.
put slow pitch in, I'll watch it again.
The men's dream team pre-Olympics, they lost a couple games to some competitors. We'll see how that ends up playing itself out. All right. Well, we're going to have to take a commercial break, all right? Yeah. So our segment ends, our technology insider. When we get back, we have Crypto Carnage. We're going to be talking about the Crypto Carnage.
Crypto Carnage.
That is happening.
We drink some more of this crappy whiskey.
Well, after we have some more whiskey. That's right. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Roday here, David behind the board. We'll see you after this commercial break.
Did you know that up to 12 to 15% of Americans grind their teeth at night while they sleep? Yeah, it's called bruxism. I used to work at a sleep lab, and we used to measure that, and it leads to a lot of problems like headaches and destroys your teeth. It wears down the enamel, and it's just very hard on your mouth.
So every once in a while I'll wake up, my jaw will hurt. Do you think I'm grinding my teeth at night?
Yep.
Well, so how do you go about protecting this then?
The number one recommended way of protecting yourself from teeth grinding is what's called a night guard, which is a custom fitted prosthetic that you put inside your mouth. It usually runs, hundreds of dollars, but I know our sponsor, Smile Brilliant, can get you custom fitted night guards for as little as $45 a piece.
So if you go to smilebrilliant.com and use TechTime Radio at checkout, you can receive 20% off your complete order. So visit smilebrilliant.com and use the TechTime Radio at checkout code. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you heard of the Highbrow Drivel?
No, but it sounds smarty pants to me.
Highbrow Drivel delivers hilarious takes from serious experts. Every week, comedian Anthony Janot introduces one of his comedian friends to an academic, scientist, politician, or expert of some kind.
Oh yeah? And what do they do?
Over the course of roughly an hour, the group will offer thought-provoking topics, expert guests, and hilarious commentation.
Well, that sounds awesome.
Host Anthony Janot is critically acclaimed stand-up comedian who has sold out shows in Australia, England, Scotland, Sweden, and more. But we're talking specifically about his podcast now called The Highbrow Drivel. Topics range from ethics and artificial intelligence to astronomy and dinosaurs.
Really? Oh, I love dinosaurs. Do they talk about owls?
Every week, it's a new comedian, a new expert, but the same Highbrow Drivel. Highbrow Drivel is available on all major podcast players and at www.highbrowdrivel.com. Again, that's www.highbrowdrivel.com.
Yeah, that sounds like smart nonsense. Can't wait to listen.
Welcome back to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. Before the break, we talked about the Olympics. Now we're excited to have had some whiskey during that break.
No, we aren't.
Well, we're not.
No, that's worse the second time around.
All right. Well, let's.
And in fact, you need to slam that because.
I still got another segment break. I'm okay.
Yeah, okay. I got rid of mine because. Oh.
Okay. All right.
Oh my God.
Let's move right into our next segment here and start it.
Welcome to Crypto Carnage.
All right.
Oh, we even got a
Crypto Carnage.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Crypto crash is happening.
Again.
Has it bottomed out? So let's talk a little bit. So everybody's been talking about the fame in the beginning of the year of 2021. We had Dogecoin that was going to be there. You're going to be able to buy cars with this.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball tickets. Everything would be available. Cryptocurrency was going to take on over. But what if I told you that the market has essentially crashed by over 72% since it hit its high mark? Well, I'm glad you asked, Mike. Do you want to know what cryptocurrency is again?
Why don't you tell us?
Okay.
Because we talk about this
All the time.
times, yeah.
So if you are a new listener,
it's a hustle.
it is a hustle. That's Elon Musk did the best
That's
ever
right.
of explaining what it is. So first off, it is a digital currency that's only available online that is not backed by any banks, not backed by any lending institutions. It's essentially ones and zeros on the internet that essentially people have created a value set for that people invest in or will change instead of having to go through bank. It's essentially a cashless way of never having to have a physical coin in your pocket. But
it's the new generation of credit cards.
it is, but it is not backed by any financial bank. Therefore, it is not secure, and it is not to necessarily be trusted.
Yeah, which is funny because you have to put it on a physical wallet in order to keep it safe.
So you do. So the way to do it is after you purchase cryptocurrency to ensure that you don't get scammed by somebody that doesn't exist 5 to 10 months later in a exchange for cryptocurrency, which we've talked about previously. You have to put it onto a digital wallet so that you can make sure that those tokens stay available.
Which is irony
of the whole idea of having it.
In the whole, yeah, it's just irony.
All right, so let's talk about it. So right now, let's talk about the top dog, Bitcoin, right? So it was at its all-time high back in March, $65,000 a Bitcoin.
Wow.
$65,000. Guess where it is right now?
10.
It's under $30,000, and it goes up and down. It's been down to $25K, so it has essentially been cut considerably in half. So if you
I
bought
had
it,
$25K right now, I could buy one Bitcoin.
that's correct. Other big cryptocurrencies have taken a tumble too. Ethereum dropped from its $1,730 price point again in March when it was at its all-time high. Dogecoin, remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is the Elon Musk fake cryptocurrency that
That's
he
right.
called a hustle on Saturday Night Live. It has dove all the way back down to 17 cents when it was at a high of 74.
So I can buy a Dogecoin for 17 cents
now, yes. And it was 74 cents in early 2021. So
well, if I think of Dogecoin as $1, that's quite a steal.
that's the way the cryptocurrency cookie crumbles.
The crypto cookie crumbles.
That's right. That's why investing.
That's good.
You like that? That's why investing your life savings into cryptocurrency is a bad idea. And if you do that, you should. No, I'll get in trouble. I was going to say you should be shot, but I said that before and I got in trouble, so I'm not going to say it. You should be taken out and flogged
with a garden hose.
There you go. That's much better. All right. So let's talk about this big deal. If you are going to take a look at investing into cryptocurrency, it's just the same as GameStop used to be, where GameStop was $5 a share, and it shot all the way up to $355 in January. Now, the only place to buy cryptocurrency, we've talked about this, if you want to buy, and I would suggest, if you ever want to get into the market, now is the time. It is rock bottom. It will continue to go up again, is to go to one place, and that is called Coinbase. It is one of the only exchanges that is reputable and available to be taken care of. So if you're going to invest, since the crypto market has plummeted down into its low bottoms of the cellar, now would be the time to do that.
Okay,
All right,
let's do that.
We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come on back, we are going to be having Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, brought to us by StoriCoffee.
Hey, Mike, as a business owner, why do we form an LLC or a corporation?
Well, that's pretty simple. We want to protect ourselves personally from the liability of the company.
That's right, Mike. The very next thing we should be doing as business owners is protecting ourselves personally from the finances of the company.
Right. Yeah, that's why you want to get help, and you can get help from the Business Doctor, which was founded by Dr. Glenn Smith, PhD in business management, accounting, and finance. Schedule your free business evaluation and consultation at thebusinessdoctor.us.
Enroll in the Rapid Business Credit Builder program and get up to 100K business credit under the company's EIN and the DUNS number in less than 6 months. The DUNS number is really important for your rating on when you purchase other items from other businesses, never having to use personal credit ever again. That's thebusinessdoctor.us or call 866-383-1030. Again, that's 866-383-1030 or thebusinessdoctor.us.
Visit the Business Doctor today.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
So I just found out that 4.4 million people started business last year in the U.S. alone.
Yeah, I know. I was one of them. And I bet a whole bunch of those were e-commerce businesses.
That's right. A lot of them are growing so quickly now that they can't keep up with orders. This happened to someone I know. They started a business on Etsy. Then they moved to Amazon, and they're crushing it, and they make stickers. Pretty soon, they had too much inventory in their house. They were packing everything themselves, printing, postage, going to the post office all the time, and they actually ended up spending more time with the labor work than they did producing stickers.
Yeah, it's a big waste of time if you're running your own business.
Absolutely. But I do have good news. You don't have to ship your own orders if you run an online store. Fulfill Right can take care of your order fulfillment for you, saving you time, money, and stress. That means more time doing what you love.
Really? Delegating grunt work like shipping to someone you can trust is the secret to business success. Fulfill Right is the most trusted name in order fulfillment. The reviews back the statement up too. Fulfill Right has 5 stars on Shopify, Google reviews, and Trustpilot from over 100 businesses just like your buddies.
Yep. Wow. I'm going to go to fulfillright.com right now, and I'm going to ask for a quote, but I'm going to use the special TechTime link, which is fulfillright.com/TechTime. That's fulfillright.com/TechTime. They're offering $100 off new signups for TechTime listeners. You get a lot when you sign up from these guys. Service includes same-day shipping, real-time order and inventory tracking, dedicated customer service, and volume-based discount.
That sounds like a great way to get your time back if your business is really taking off. To learn more about how Fulfill Right can grow your business, go to fulfillright.com/TechTime for $100 off when you sign up.
I'm signing up today.
This is Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, presented by StoriCoffee. Visit StoriCoffee.com.
Oh, you got the revenge better than I did.
Oh, that stuff tastes worse as it goes through.
Yeah, it's gross.
Okay.
All right.
What's
so
our mesmerizing moment?
The mesmerizing moment for today is, because I was thinking about the question. You asked the question at the beginning of the show. I was thinking about this earlier today.
What's the next job that would be lost due to computers?
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that, in science fiction movies, it's always, robots or aliens or things that come and destroy humans. And I was thinking that we don't have to worry too much about that because We're doing it ourselves.
We are.
Because we seem to have this thinking problem that technology is solving problems for humankind, but it's not. All these technology advancements are solving problems for companies and billionaires. They're not solving, because a motorized transport from Seattle to New York that needs no driver means less money goes out from that company.
Just think of all those people. You got the gas stations that you don't have to pay as much to.
That's
you
right.
have the driver, and you think the same at the Olympics, right? You have these cars that are
always. But like
driving.
I said earlier, this is all a trial and error thing. So
Yeah.
we're creating a lot of problems when we don't think about these things. So it's just an interesting kind of view. This is the grossest stuff.
We gotta
I've
do our
ever
picks of the
tasted.
day. So we
There
got
is
our
no pick of the day.
pick of the
This
day:
is-
Canadian Mist, blended Canadian whiskey.
There is nothing that can be 2 thumbs. I mean, we need 5 or 8, maybe 12 thumbs down.
12
This
thumbs
is the
down.
nastiest stuff.
It makes Kentucky's best not taste like Kentucky's worst. We don't need to do a worse
I
off
want
now.
Kentucky's best right now because that would wash the taste of Canadian Mist out. Bad Canada.
Well, you got some
Bad
focus.
Canada.
You got some focus drinks coming on up. Make sure you join us for the second hour. We're going to have ABC TV Shark Tank hero on, Robbie Cabral, and we're going to have Kim Kelly. We also have our letter segment. I'm Nathan Mumm. Mike Gorday.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.